a realtor and talk show host all in one. Get tips, advice, and valuable lessons from the successful and rewarded Sotheby's Vice President, Jennifer Hammond. With more than 20 years of real estate experience, she'll make it look easy. Here is Jennifer Hammond.
Well, hello, this is Jennifer Hammond, and I'm here with my favorite tax person, Linda DeMarlar. She's in Rockville, Maryland, and she has been doing this for how many years?
More than 30.
Quite a few years. So one of the things that we love in real estate, of course, we have real estate agents like myself. I'm licensed in 3 states. But then we also have real estate investors, and then we have the regular, I want to say, person who just owns their own house. So what is important about that? Well, tax insights are so important. And again, I always say, don't leave it to a computer. Don't leave it to a computer program or anything like that. You want to make sure you have a Linda on your A-team. It's really important that you always have a Linda on your A-team. So Linda, let's start first with what are the 5 ways that someone can get out of paying taxes?
Oh, you're going to like this, Jennifer. The first one, well, we won't like the first one too much because it means you have to die. So let's avoid the first one. The first one we'll just skip. Because what happens a lot of times when you die, if you've owed taxes, they're forgiven, or if you have a big gain on something, your children will inherit it at a stepped-up basis, so you don't have to pay the tax. But let's not worry about that one.
So the 5 different ways, no, the number 1 is death.
Death, yeah,
unfortunately.
so we don't like
So
that
we don't
one.
really want to die.
No,
but just
that.
so you know that there are ways of getting out of taxes.
And the next one is everybody's favorite thing to talk about, which is deductions.
Yay!
Yes, and of course you know of all was that my favorite house deduction is your mortgage on your home and your real estate taxes. Those are the 2 big ones.
And but you have to own a home for that.
Oh, yes, very good. And you need a good
Important
realtor.
detail.
You need a good realtor to do it.
Yeah.
So all kinds of deductions now. It doesn't have to just be your home. It could be charitable deductions, which of course are good. Medical deductions, which we'll probably talk about in a later segment, which are sad to have, but most times you get some kind of deduction for them.
Right.
And there could be deductions for your children.
Yay!
Or if you have something else that helps you with your work.
So you can't deduct your dog or your cat, though?
Not really. Now, I do have clients that own a car repair garage, and they have dogs which are on guard duty, and we can deduct all the food and veterinarian care for them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Also, if you have a comfort dog, it's necessary for medical expense, or a service dog, also the seeing eye dogs.
Wow.
Those dogs, of course, become a medical expense. Or if it's something that helps you with your work also.
Well, that's good. That's also like with condos, a lot of times when we're looking at condos, you might not be able to have a dog or cat, but if it's needed for medical reasons, even though the condo association says you can't have it, you can if it's for something like medical reasons. Even I had someone recently who they lost their spouse. And the psychiatrist had said for medical reasons to get through the depression right after the loss of a spouse, after 40 some years of being with that person, they were allowed to have the dog in the condo that doesn't allow any other dogs in the building.
That's right. It works out beautifully. I have a lady who was she was divorced and in her 50s and had lost her mom and was very depressed. And the doctor said the same thing, to get a dog. And you know what happened? After 6 months of having the dog, she had lost 40 pounds because
she
had to walk. This dog it was a kind of a big dog. It needed a lot of walks. And the more she walked, the less she ate, and it turned out to be a great thing for her and for the dog.
So it's good for being able to get it into a condo when you're not allowed to have it in a condo, but also for taxes.
Yes.
It's possible depending on how you utilize
Structure it.
So the 5 things again to get out of taxes. Number 1, death.
Yes.
Number 2, deductions. Number 3?
The next one is really good. It's called deferring.
Yay!
And this is one of my favorite things to talk about, which we'll cover later probably in a segment, is by deferring your income perhaps for your retirement. So if you work at a company where they have what's called a 401k plan, many companies not only will allow you to contribute to your own 401k plan, but they will also match some of your contributions, sometimes up to 6 or 10% of what you put in. So if you decide to defer $100 out of each paycheck, a lot of times your company will match that $100.
Nice.
Now what happens on your paycheck, let's say your salary is $70,000 per year, but during the year you have deferred $5,000 into your retirement account. then you're only going to pay taxes on $65,000, which is super because that extra $5,000, it's growing for your retirement.
Right.
You don't pay taxes on it now. You will pay taxes on it many years from now when you retire. But Jennifer, if you have a choice of paying $1 tax today or $1 tax 30 years from now, which would you choose?
Later, definitely later. But also your income will be different later, so it might be a different tax.
That's absolutely correct. So hopefully by the time you retire, or maybe not hopefully, it's possible you'll be in a lower tax bracket. But whatever it is, that dollar has had 30 years to grow and grow and grow.
Right.
And you know, I think it was, wasn't it Einstein or somebody who said the most powerful force in the universe is compounded interest. Maybe it was Ben Franklin, I'm not sure. In any case.
But compound interest is one of the keys that a lot of people need to learn to use.
That's right. So by deferring your income. And you know, many times, like if you own a company, you have a choice of giving the annual Christmas bonus or annual bonus to your employees and to yourself in December. But if you can wait and write the check on January 1st, then it's the same income, but you can wait a whole year to pay the taxes on it.
Nice.
So that's another way you can defer income.
So 5 different ways. So death, which we don't want to do.
No.
Dying. But number 2 is to deduct. Number 3 is to defer it to a later time. What's number 4?
Number 4 is to exclude the income. Now, to exclude the income, you can do this in different ways. Sometimes what you'll want to do is transfer the income to somebody else somehow. If you hire a spouse or your child to work for you. Many times I have clients, myself included, where when you have older children, they help you with your work, they help you somehow, then you can exclude the income by passing it along to your child, and they pay taxes on it at a lower bracket.
Nice.
So an exclusion is also a good one. I'm trying to think of another good example.
So,
maybe it'll come.
Well, and as an intern, you might find other people that you would hire to do some of the work that, again, you need to do, but it'd be better for someone else to do it rather than you. Again, leveraging your time.
And delegating, yes.
Delegating.
It's very hard for women like us, I know. Micromanaging.
I know, I want to make sure everything's perfect, but I think it's so important that you, again, you have other people on your team to help you.
Yes, that's the other one.
Okay, so we talked about death, deductions, deferring,
and exempting it.
Exempting, and what's number 5?
The last one is to change the complexion of the income. Now, let's say that you own a stock and it's doing very, very well, but you've read that maybe it's not going to be doing so well in the future. Whenever you sell it, you're going to pay what's called a capital gain tax. Now, the capital gain tax depends on how long you've owned the stock. And this could also be a rental property or an investment property. It could even be your own home if you have a large gain. So what happens is if you hold something for 1 year and 1 day, this is very important, now it becomes a long-term period of holding, and you're entitled to get a capital gain rate. Now the capital gain rate starts at 15%. Now in some cases, if you have a very large capital gain, let's say over 200,000 if you're single.
Hopefully you do.
Yes, we like that. Or if you're a married couple, over 250,000. Then what happens is you might get it taxed at a 20% rate. But that's still better than perhaps you might be in the 30 or 39% rate. So if you can change the type of the income into something else, we call it changing its complexion. Then you get a special tax treatment. Also, when you recapture depreciation that you've claimed on a rental property, that property gets depreciated at your full tax rate when you own it, but when you recapture it, the maximum rate is only 25%. So there's a lot of things that Congress has done which mainly encourage people to buy real estate. So getting back to real estate, which of course.
And that's so important that people actually go out and buy. I always say that you're going to pay someone's mortgage. You're either going to pay your own or you're going to pay your landlord's. And there's so many tax reasons, to be able to do that. But there's so many other benefits. So again, Linda, such a pleasure. We talked about the 5 different ways that you can get away with not paying taxes. Legally. Legally. Very important, legally.
Legally, yes, legally.
Yeah. Linda, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been such a pleasure. This is Jennifer Hammond, and we'll be back with more of ways that you can save on your taxes and you can make good decisions in real estate.
thank you for listening to Jennifer Hammond's podcasts. If you liked what you heard, leave a comment or like on iTunes. For more information, visit her website at jenniferhrealty.com.